This video is all about providing you with a 5-point checklist to think about whether your project is suitable for Agile project management. I know Agile is very popular at the moment, and traditional project management, perhaps Prince 2, is becoming less popular. But you have to consider, does my project fit this new Agile world? So as I explain the 5 points, I think you'll get a good flavour of what underpins Agile project management. So let's start with the easiest point of all. Does your project have to deliver to a fixed deadline? If it doesn't make the deadline, then is your project sort of virtually useless? You know, we all have certain projects that if we don't get them out the door by a certain date, we perhaps have missed the annual cycle, or perhaps we've been beaten to the post by a competitor. So is there a deadline that's really driving your project? If so, Agile project management is a good idea, because Agile project management prioritises hitting the deadline over hitting the complete scope of a project. Agile project management says, the solution can evolve. We know we've got to hit a particular date. Let's find out what we can deliver to that date, with a guarantee in the background always that we will deliver a minimum solution, something workable, by that date. And if it's gone really well, then we'll add more features and more functions to that basic solution, so you'll get even more for your money. But we absolutely guarantee that we'll hit the date. So if you're deadline driven, Agile project management is for you. Associated with that is perhaps you're in an environment where you really are under a tremendous amount of pressure to deliver something. Your users have a problem that they need fixing now. In fact, it was probably needed fixing months ago. Or perhaps there's an opportunity in the marketplace that's getting everybody very excited, and they don't want a competitor to get there first. So it's really important that they see something coming out the door. It might not be the perfect solution, but they really want to see some progress taking place. And this is where Agile project management and its emphasis on iterative development, piece by piece, we'll get the solution out there. We'll get something basic, and then we'll add some more features, and then we'll add some more features to that. So that could be another good reason for using Agile project management. Thirdly, it's quite useful sometimes if nobody really knows what they want. There's a pressure to get something delivered, but if you ask 10 users, you're going to get 10 different answers. If you ask 100 users, you'll get 100 different answers. If you are in that situation, ask yourself, what is the point of doing formal requirements gathering, requirements analysis? Everybody's answer is going to be the same, and to be honest, they don't really know what they want. So some of these ideas might be completely useless, and there might be one great idea somewhere in the middle, but it'll take you months to find it. Far better with Agile in its iterative development, why don't you prototype some basic idea, model something, put something in front of your users and say, how does that look? If they like it, then you can build on it. If they don't like it, you know you've gone down the wrong path. But it adds to that sort of idea of we're getting moving, we're getting things done, because users can start to see that you are innovating, you're giving them ideas and solutions as quickly as possible. Which brings me to another point, which is an Agile project is very suitable if you think you're in a situation where the users have so much knowledge compared perhaps to yourselves in the project team. It's a very business-driven project and you need that business information, that business knowledge. Well, Agile is all about collaborative working, and while we're not going to second the business necessarily into our project team, they are there to work with you very regularly, give you feedback all the time on what you've done. There's a lot of show and tell. You've done this, show the users, get them to tell you what they think, and keep building on that. So if you've got really knowledgeable users, use them, and that's what Agile project management encourages. Finally, have a think about the environment you're working in, and is there a suspicion that perhaps project management is a bit overdoing it, a bit too much about the documentation and not so much about getting things done when you need them? If you're working in an environment where there is that suspicion that the project initiation document is going to be 60 pages long and it's going to take 6 months before you even start on the project, then perhaps Agile project management is a good way to do things, because it's got a minimum sort of idea of what needs to be documented. So there is an audit trail, but the emphasis all the time is on meeting the business need, getting something out there, starting to realise benefits as soon as possible. You can probably see I'm a big fan of Agile project management. It's because the points I've outlined are the ones that I keep coming up against time and again. I work with users who are desperate for our solutions, and they don't really want to be caught up in all the project documentation. They just want to get things done. I hope you found this helpful.